chairperson to give her talk. She will be speaking on the problem.
For the conference again this year, and I would like to thank the committee for inviting me here. There has been a lot of discussion on whether we should just go for a PK or should we try and do lamellar surgery no matter what. I have no conflict of interest to declare. I think I'm one of those who would like to do lamellar surgery no matter what. Because over the years when I used to do PKs in the very early days and I see these patients several years later, every time they come into the clinic I'm worried they have a problem that will be hard to manage. And with lamellar surgery, we've realized that, the clinics are so calm. Patients come and go, they are stable year after year. And definitely there is no doubt that lamellar corneal surgery has advantages over PK. But there are occasional scenarios like some that were presented earlier today. The question we have to ask is, do we do a PK or do we do a staged lamellar procedure? And how risky is it to do 2 lamellar surgeries? So let's see if I can answer some of those questions today. So this is the first case of a patient who had very bad acanthamoeba keratitis. It took almost 8 to 9 months to heal with a combination of medications. We all know the anti-acanthamoeba drugs cause toxicity and inflammation. There was a lot of stromal scarring and thinning, dilated pupil, which is not uncommon because of the high IOP. So in the first instance, I performed a manual DOLC for this lady. And despite the manual DOLC, she continued to have persistent edema. And again, I suspected it's because of endothelial dysfunction, which is again not uncommon in patients with acanthamoeba. So the question at this stage is whether we should do a PK or something else. So I decided to we waited for a couple of months for the eye to be more calm. We had intensive steroids and we went ahead and did a phaco DSEC with an iris prosthesis. And this patient is now more than 15 years out and continues to have clear and good vision of 6/9. So this is the picture at 1 month post-op when her cell counts were 2,500. Currently her cell counts are in the range of 700-800, but she's still doing very well with a stable clear graft. This is another patient who had a PVK and had a DSEC done, uneventful. 3 months post-DSEC, she started developing these stromal opacities, which we were not sure what it was. When we scraped it after at least 6 weeks of trial because we were not sure what's happening. We were not suspecting it to be microsporidia. Then once we suspected it, we sent scrapes again for microsporidia and it came back positive. So it's one of a few cases of stromal keratitis due to microsporidia. We hardly see that in Singapore. I'm sure in India you see a lot of stromal keratitis secondary to microsporidia. So once the epithelial lesions cleared, she was left with this dense stromal keratitis that continued to increase in size. And she's had a previous DSEC. So again, instead of doing a PK, we decided to do a DOLC on her. She has poor vision post-operatively because of diabetic maculopathy and macular scar, but the graft has remained pristine and clear more than 10 years post-op. The third case is a patient who had Fuchs endothelial dystrophy with a lot of stromal edema and scarring. So the DSEC was done. And after the DSEC, she came back to a vision of 645 because she had a lot of residual stromal scar and flattening with almost 13 diopters of sphere and 10 diopters of cylinder. So then I went on to do a DM-bearing DOLC more than a decade ago, and she continues to enjoy excellent vision post-operatively. So this is another example where instead of converting to PK, a DOLC over a DSEC can be done very easily. And believe me, this surgery is a lot easier. If you have a DSEC there, all you need to do is inject a bubble into the eye, and that plane of cleavage, the plane is very easily achieved. This is another patient with a bilateral thermal burn with endothelial dysfunction. This patient had both anterior scarring with vascularization as well as endothelial dysfunction. So both eyes were managed differently. So let's go to the left eye first. The discussion was whether the patient should have a PK or patient should have a staged procedure, do a anterior lamellar procedure first, followed by an endothelial procedure. And once we had this discussion with the patient approved of the idea and went ahead to do an ALTK stage 1 because it was a very superficial corneal scar, followed by an ALTK stage 2 and a combined phaco DSEC for this patient. So this patient, his left eye has this surgery. And after the surgery, of course, it's a trilaminar cornea. Initially, the cornea was very edematous. Over time, it settled down, and the patient recovered very good 6/9 vision. How about the fellow eye? And at 4 years, the cell counts are at 1346, so this patient has been doing very well in the left eye. The right eye, however, had a PK. Of course, with PK, we know the quality and the quantity of vision is excellent. 3 years later, patient had a rejection. It was reversed, but her endothelial cell counts have reduced to 1675. I mean, at the moment, both are doing fine, but we know that it's a matter of time. Over time, the risk of PK failing is a lot higher. So I think after having done several cases, there is enough evidence now to show that rather than doing a PK, combining two lamellar procedures have a lower risk of rejection as well. So as I mentioned in case 1, the acanthamoeba patient with stromal scarring, a DOLC was a reasonable first option. And if there is endothelial dysfunction, once the eye calms down, a phaco-dissect might be a better option in terms of long-term graft outcomes. Doing a manual dissection under a DSEC is very, very easy. It's a lot easier than doing a manual DOLC for, say, keratoconus or other stromal scars. Just avoid suction trephines. It has to be, trephines like the Solan trephine are good enough, and they give you excellent outcomes as well. And this patient particularly did pretty well despite having limbal stem cell deficiency. A lamellar procedure resulted in a very good outcome for this patient over the long term. Thank you. Before I end off, I would like to actively invite all of those who are interested to join our one-year international fellowship program in SNEC. It's a fully funded fellowship program. So anyone who is interested, we offer 10 to 12 fellowships. So please come and look for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Any comment from the panel?
I think it's the excellent technique. We would definitely have it to add to our armamentarium. The only disadvantage for me is that you need to use 2 corneas for 1 eye. So that means that in case you have enough corneas, it might be a viable approach. In case when you have a shortage of the donor material, that might be a little bit more not so straightforward, I should say.
I agree, yes. I mean, with the shortage of cornea, yes, that's a problem. But I think if you look at it from a longer term perspective, the advantage it offers for our patients, I think it's still worth the wait, getting a lamellar surgery done. Thank you.